Nerd Lag Game Club. Welcome to the Nerd Lag Game Club podcast, the podcast where we play games instead of reading books. I'm Corey, and I'm joined by three party members today: Lauren,
Hey.
Tonsa,
Yo, yo!
and Danboy.
Hello.
In this episode of the Game Club, we're living through the world of memories and playing To the Moon. To the Moon was released on November 1st, 2011, and was developed and published by Freebird Games. Freebird Games have created two other games that directly tie to the characters in this game, which I thought was pretty cool. We didn't play those, though, so just To the Moon for this episode. Before we get any further into To the Moon, I want to give the spoiler warning, and I would definitely recommend playing this before listening to the episode. This was our middle game for the month of March, and I'm going to give a brief summary of the story for To the Moon. So, To the Moon, the simplest way, follows the story of two doctors who offer to fulfill a dying man's last wish using artificial memories to go to the moon. It is the most basic form. But we play as Doctors Eva Rosaline and Doctors Neil Watts as we try to help Johnny Wilds get to the moon, but he doesn't really know why he wants to go there, and we have to connect the memories from the most recent memory all the way back until we find the connection. Alright, for each episode, we like to break up the main points of the game between us, and starting with gameplay and mechanics, Tonsa is going to tell us all about them for To the Moon.
This is like a traditional RPG maker style of game. This is really big for that era. But you mainly click to move and click to interactive objects. You are trying to find mementos or links to use them to move on to the next memories. And to move on, you have to do like a grid-based puzzle. That's how you would describe that.
Yeah.
And then some points you get to move with the arrow keys.
You can move with the arrow keys the whole game.
Oh, I couldn't.
Oh, I'd switch back and forth depending on what I was doing.
No,
The arrows.
Yeah, I wish. Mine wouldn't let me do that. I had the biggest issue just being the game. I hate games that force full screen like that, or also don't have any sound options. But yeah, that's basically it. It's just an RPG Maker game. You go traverse through the memories, collecting mementos to move on to the next thing and find clues to the whole reason he wants to go to the moon.
I will note that there is, even though this is RPG Maker, there is no combat in this game at all. There's one joke at it at the very beginning of the game, but that's it. Everything else is narrative based, and it's all about telling a story. So I like that it's broken up like that. Anything else for gameplay and mechanics?
I don't believe so, unless somebody else wants to add something. Because I mean, the biggest thing that would be gameplay is like the puzzles, and they were just like you click on a grid to send, like to either clear the panels or move the panels. I don't know how you would describe that.
I don't know. This feels more like a point and click game in a way.
My experience was, besides one point.
Yeah, so that's kind of what it reminds me of. Like, you kind of, in the area that you're in, you have to discover what they are, and then you, like, get little orbs to advance. But, yeah, I would say point and click's probably the best way to describe it. Unless, yeah, that's about it. It's a narrative point and click is what I'll go with. But, alright, let's move on to art design. Lauren is going to tell us about the art for To the Moon. To the Moon!
The moon. Alright, so the game was made in RPG Maker. So art-wise, I mean, you have your graphics with pixel art. There's a couple, like, little cutscene type of things where they had actual art, but I think Stardew Valley that's the first thing I thought of when I seen it. I never used RPG Maker, so first thought was Stardew Valley. Almost every artist I seen only credited for this game. If there was more than one game, it was the same studio. They worked on one of the other games, but that's about it. I'm assuming they might have been more like independent artists that they just had them design like the sprites or those little cutscene art.
Yeah, it was just assets. They're like listed in the credits of all the assets he used.
Yeah,
They used.
so nothing too crazy. There was one person that was named. It's Elisa Hannah. She's a pixel 2D and 3D artist. She designed character sprites, the art scene when they have the dance in the lighthouse, and a few more. Those are just like normal art though. Those wouldn't be like pixel ones. And really, I mean, that's all I have considering it's just RPG Maker art. The art definitely took a step back in this one. Not saying that it doesn't look good, but it definitely, you could tell, wasn't the main focus of the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Those the lighthouse scene does look really good though. Like the shadows that they use.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the rest of the game is like you said, Stardew, like that pixelated art style, which I have I don't know, have like a weak spot for. I really like that art style. And I don't know if that just comes from like the era of games, like growing up, but
I don't know. I definitely say this is a product of its like that, like 2010, like or 2000 like 10 to like 13, like Let's Play era. Because this was really big on like YouTube, and there was like a lot of games popping up like that used the same thing. Like I looked it up. Witch House was one of them, which I played. Was like a free horror puzzle game.
yeah, I like that this is like all narrative based though, so something different for us. Next up, Dan is going to tell us about the sound design and music for To the Moon.
All right, so ain't really got much, to be honest with you. It seems like the person that designed the game is also the composer of like all the music, which is Gao, however you pronounce it. So he produced all of it. Seems like he kind of produces all of the music and sounds for like all of the studio's games. And then also, I'm assuming this is how this person fits into this. There's also another composer that's credited in the credits. It's Laura Shigihara, which I'm assuming is she's just credited for the singing in one of these songs. I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, probably.
It's probably the
Yeah,
vocalists for during the credits?
Yeah.
Or before the credits?
It was before the credits, before the like the build up at the end, or during the build up at the end.
Yeah. I'm assuming, anyways, because that's how it's looking like. Because I don't know. Anyways, this girl that is does the singing. She kind of has a little bit of stuff to her. Like she's a Twitch streamer. She she worked as a sound director for a company. I don't know what company. It doesn't really say out here. It's just that she worked at one. She's also like a singer. She does some piano.
Well, it sounded
There's
good.
not a lot of stuff.
I wonder
to
if
say
she
about
did
this.
the piano scene then. If she's the one who did that part.
Like the playing.
Yeah,
No, I feel like the music in this game is really good.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's like funny how it switches though, because it goes from like the piano music, which is like very peaceful, and you can kind of just sit there and listen to it, and then like every once in a while it gets like real like dark and like scary. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's like don't know. Like it's like
Yeah, it's like what is happening? I'm just in a different room now. And it's like it's one of those things that's misleading because it kind of comes off like it's going to be some sort of like horror element, and then like nothing happens. It's just the music changes to like a scary tone. All right, so we're gonna do things a little bit different for this episode. Since this game is all narrative based, we're going to be sort of vague about things. We're only going to talk about like certain things that pop up that we wanted to like that really made an impact for us. If we were to go through the story after this, there'd be no point in you playing the game. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I think it's better to be played than it is to just have us poorly explain it. So, did anyone want to open up with anything that made an impact to them?
What's his name's Neil? Neil's like weird obsession with trying to be like an anime character as he breaks like the memento
Oh
thing.
my god, yeah, that made me laugh so hard. He's like, you don't ever interrupt Kamehameha.
Yeah. Yeah, he's hitting him with like everything. At one point, I think there was like a Hulk smash. And
Yeah, there was.
Hadouken!
yeah,
Yeah.
Hadouken.
That's
Yeah,
the first one.
Yeah, there's some good ones in there.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that part that was a good. I think that's the only thing that like really like the dialogue in this caught me off guard sometimes because it's like I couldn't tell when like at one point I thought we were in the past and then we're super high tech and then I was really just confused by the way that people talk sometimes.
Yeah, there's like some like flashbacks where they like reference stuff that was like, what year is this?
Yeah.
But the humor trickled in throughout the game, I think, is much needed.
Yeah.
I just want to point out like their dynamic in general. So Watts and Rosaline, they kind of go back and forth. They have like a really odd relationship, and you find out like little snippets of like their story, which is what the sequels follow. Like it's a new patient with the same doctors, which is kind of cool. But I just like their dynamic and how they give each other a hard time. At one point, she shoves him off the top of the lighthouse because she's like, "You can't get hurt in here. It's a memory."
Yeah, that made me laugh. I was like, man, she just freaking booted him off. You're like, I'm still scared.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. That's probably the biggest takeaway for those two characters. It's just that there's a history between them, but they only give us like these like snapshots of what it is.
Mine is definitely the piano scene. I really like listening to the piano anyways. But just to sit there and just like, I don't want to give the story, but just the atmosphere of what's going on, the lead up of him like playing the piano, and then like the song is really good. I literally sat there for probably 5 minutes.
Yeah, at one
The
point
piano scene.
I looked over at you and I was like, "What are you doing?" Because you're just like swaying back and forth, and you're like just listening to the music. And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, it was good. I really liked that part. So that would probably be my first one.
What about you, Dan? Have anything?
I mean, nothing really comes to mind, like specifics. I will say, playing this, and like you said, the doctor's like whole like dynamics made me want to go and play the other ones.
Yeah, same. After I was done with this, I was like, "Man, I kind of want to play the other ones."
Yeah, that's why I kind of went through like the two little mini-sodes that are kind of with it.
Or I guess we'll go into that right this second. But what do those follow? Is it more to this story? Or is it like what are those mini episodes?
They're kind of just about the company that they work for.
Okay, well that's
So
cool
it's
because it
like-
gives you
the-
something.
The first one, the company is having like a little party thing since no one has any like clients to take care of for once. So they all kind of get together. You kind of meet like all the other doctors.
You meet the smelly guy they reference.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember his name.
anyone. I don't know.
He smells
I
worse
don't,
than
I don't think
roadkill.
so.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't remember. I don't think they mentioned anything about anyone smelling, so I don't think so.
Well, they wouldn't say it to his face if it was a party.
Oh yeah, I guess.
But so like one's a party at the company.
Yeah, and the other one is during Christmas, and everyone's kind of going home to their families for Christmas. And then Neil kind of doesn't have anyone, so he just kind of like stays at the office by himself.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah,
And then Eva kind of her sister kind of convinces her to take their party over to the office, and then they invite Lily and the kids over
That's
to have
nice.
dinner with them. Yeah.
How long were those?
They were about 30 minutes each.
Oh, that's
That's
not
okay.
bad. I do really like the opening to this game because it's so
Like,
random.
Crash the car.
Yeah, he like wrecks the car, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how did he even hit it the way that he did?
He slid
Yeah.
in like Tokyo Drift style, I would assume, like from the like right in.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? I was like, how did this happen? But I just love that the car is smoking, and like as they go to leave, they still lock the car.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, gotta be safe.
Yeah. But it's all because he's trying to avoid hitting a squirrel, but then ends up hitting the squirrel anyway. And I was like, man, I don't know what kind of ride I'm about to get on, but this is a pretty good opening.
Yeah, they're like, oh, she's like, oh, we're gonna get in trouble. He's like, I'll just tell the boss we like swerve to like miss a dog. He likes dogs. He's like, he's more of a cat person. Like, you're like,
Yeah. And then we'll tell him that we didn't kill the cat. Another one I mentioned sort of when we were talking about gameplay. At one point, you're walking through the woods and you go into like an RPG battle with a random ass squirrel. And you're
Yeah.
like, you can pick your moves and what you're going to do. And all there's like the two little kids are with you. And they're like, don't do it. Like, they're judging you so hard.
Oh yeah, because like you get to pick like your attack, then like how loud you want to yell, and I put the loudest, and they're like, we're ashamed of you.
Yeah.
We're gonna report you for animal abuse.
Yeah, I think that's what I did too. And I was like, ooh, yikes. These kids think so lowly of Watts.
Well, I totally at one point because like I knew about this game like forever, and I was like, oh, there's a fucking battle system in it. And well, we're wrong.
Yeah, no battle system. Just a joke.
That was
Which-
good. That was a good joke.
Yeah, I like it. Anything else, guys? I know this is super vague, but I think it would fuck it all up if we just talked about the story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
right
parts I
there.
really like. Like, I really like the whole like carnival scene, whatever.
Yeah, that one was.
Like, that was really good. It's just hard to say anything without giving away like almost the whole story because that's like the part that clicks.
Yeah.
There is I don't know if you guys knew this, but in the cinema when you're at the movies during that memory, you can go around and get rid of all the people in the lobby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, and then I can't remember. I think it's Watts, right? Tells you
Yeah.
like you know
Yeah.
that doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, I kept
Nah,
doing it.
and I was
He's
like, I got rid of
"No, that
everyone."
doesn't do it.
Yeah, I got rid of everyone.
Yeah. The dialogue. I mean, obviously it's a narrative based story. Like, but the dialogue was handled very well.
Yeah.
I like how you just like as you're progressing through the memories, you sort of just get like a little bit of stuff, and then they kind of do like throwaway lines, or at least that's what it seems like at the time. And then
Mhm.
and then it ends up tying into everything later. But you're kind of like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, that's the weirdest thing for someone to say. Like, what is that?
Yeah, it like there's like a lot of things that are like, oh, why? And then they like them. You can tell that just they're doing their job too. Like
Yeah.
at the end, obviously they get a little more attached to like the whole story, but like most of it is just doing their job.
I will say this would be one of the hardest jobs if it was real.
I would not do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, I don't think I would use their service either. Like,
Yeah, me either. Me and Lauren had this conversation earlier, and it would give away the whole fucking story. But
yeah, I
it's, if the outcome, like, I wouldn't pick the outcome that the game does. I would rather just deal with not knowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I felt like there's a point where I was like, oh, this story, like, just end it here. And, like, I think it would have been fine.
Yeah, I do enjoy that the way they ended it is still a bit satisfying.
It's not a service I would use.
Yeah.
So that's kind of another thing in the mini episode things. the public does not like the company like at all. Like the stuff that they do for people. So it's like they're at least like Eva is constantly like, hey, like I don't know if I'm doing like the right thing because of people. Like she wanted to do it to help people, and then everyone's
It's
kind
a
of like,
very
hey, man.
controversial topic.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. If that was a real thing, it would
I mean, they even had
definitely-
their whole like fight because of it, like one wanting to do their job and do their job right.
Yeah, it's like do you follow the guidelines of doing the job correctly, or do you do things slightly different to fulfill your emotional attachment?
Yeah, it's a
And
job I would never want
it would be
or
awful.
use.
Every part of that job would be stressful. Outside of being in the memories and being in the memories is all stressful. You have people constantly hating the company you work for, and you just always you don't know if you're making the right decisions.
I don't know what the payout would be because, no, I can't. I won't say that. Never mind. I won't talk about that because it would be.
Yeah, bits of tiptoeing around it, but yeah, it'd be interesting if this was like a real life thing.
There's a lot of things that do something very similar to this game. I'm pretty sure there's like I think there's a movie that's very close to this.
Oh, didn't you say, Lauren, that they're in the process of making an animated film for this?
Yeah, that's what I seen. That it's actually in development already.
I think it'd be cool. I think it could be done very well.
I told Lauren
It is
as I was playing this, I was like, this could be a really good like anime.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a pretty good book as well.
The book
I
would
don't
be
read
really
all that
good.
I
often.
don't like to read.
You fucking read the whole game.
Or did he?
No.
Oh, did he? He just clicked.
Just click
everything.
real
Yeah,
fast.
click through it.
Yeah. There's like a lot of things that kind of like that do like entering somebody's brain, which is always weird.
Well, another thing I just thought of in the game that I found kind of weird. The Animorphs thing. Why is it Animorphs?
I don't know if that happened to just be a big meme at the time.
It's so random. And then that little girl's like, "Oh, what does David convert into?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know." And then you just go and talk to.
You
know,
get the next like bit.
Yeah, and you get the answer. But then it's like, what is? I was like, Animorph. It's all over this game too.
And then it ends up making.
It makes sense, but it's
But at the
just very
same time, it's
interesting.
just kind of like thinking of when this was made and stuff. It's
like it could have been
why?
anything.
Yeah, like it could have legit been anything.
Like what the series of books are doesn't make a difference to the story. It's just a very random choice. That's all I'm saying.
It's referenced like multiple times, and like why it's referenced. But yeah, it could have been anything else. It could have been Power Rangers. It could have been
Goosebumps.
just whatever
anything.
The person wanted to go with. Like they didn't make a substantial like story thing.
No, it makes sense in the tie of the story, but like if it wasn't Animorphs and it was Goosebumps, it makes no difference.
Nancy Drew, anything.
Yeah, anything. Boxcar Kids.
Oh, God,
Mikey
I forgot
Mike.
about that series.
Mikey Mike.
I don't know.
Magic Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike.
But all right, guys. What was your guys' time to completion?
It was like 3 hours and 3.7.
Mine is 4.1, but I was also fiddling with the hookah at one point in time.
So mine is a little bit skewed because of me playing the whole
The other episodes.
thing. But I'm pretty sure whenever I finished the game, like the actual game, it was 3.4.
Okay, that makes sense.
Lauren,
3.7.
3.7. You and Tons are like the same.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think
Okay.
mine was 4.1 because I was jittering with the hookah.
I swear, whenever I finished, I swear it said that you were at 3.5.
Me?
Yeah.
It said 4.1.
Yeah. Well, because at one point I texted Corey and was like, "Hey, this game's longer than what you said it was," and then I asked him.
What I saw was friends who play, like in Steam, and
Mhm.
it says 3.5 hours played recently.
Okay,
You
yeah,
also get that
4.1.
achievement. You get the achievement for the beating the game before you beat the game. By the way,
Yeah, I noticed that. I also got like cards on Steam, and I'm like, for what?
that's a weird.
Well, you
you
just get them from like time
playing
played.
game. You're just playing games.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can like earn like it's a concept on Steam. The only person I know that takes advantage of it is Adam. So,
Shout out to Adam. All right, guys. Let's do recommendation. So each episode we go around and we find out if we would recommend the game we're playing and why or why not. So starting with Lauren, would you recommend this game and why or why not?
Yeah, I really liked it. I always like super like story driven stuff, so it's a easy yes for me.
Tonsa?
yeah, I mean, it definitely shows its age. But I'm trying to figure out because you bought like all of us a copy a year or so ago,
Yeah, it was a while ago.
and it
I
was
paid,
like really cheap.
Yeah, it was like $2.
It's I want to say yes. I think I'm going to recommend it because it's just a good story. I think $10 is a little. I don't know if that's the correct price I would do for it. Like if for on sale for sure.
Will they do that bundle, which is probably your best option? Like, well, if you knew you liked it, it would be the best option because you get all their games. It's like, I don't know, it was like $25.
Yeah, I see it right now. $23.93. Yeah, I would do that. Like if a big game, I just it's a good story. I mean, I get the same time. I guess it's gonna be like going to the movie, but you get 4 hours out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you get what you want out of it, obviously.
I think it's good. I just, for me personally, I would want it a little cheaper.
Dan Boy, would you recommend the game?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like my my sad games and just sad stuff in general. And I enjoyed it. I had fun. I cried a little bit. Had a little bit of tears coming out.
There's no way you cried. There's no way.
Dude, I had tears coming out, man. My eyes were getting wet.
I did. It was pretty sad at that one point, and I was like, "Damn,
yeah." I was like, "Damn, man."
Corey, you're not lonely. Shut the fuck
up." I would also recommend this game. I really like it. I always wanted to play it. I kind of knew a little bit about it going into it, and it's not justified. Like listening to people talk about it, it doesn't do the same as just playing it. So even if you're like, oh, well,
I will say, knowing the game and like not knowing, like I knew the premise of the game, but I never knew the whole the story. I think if somebody said that, like we talked about the entire story, it'd be different. But just like, oh, this kind of is this, you're gonna still have a good time or a sad time, I guess.
It's such a good narrative. Like I found myself just hooked to it. Like sometimes when we play games, like I need breaks. But this one, I was like, I just want to know the whole thing. It's like binge watching a TV show. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Which I don't even do. So good job for them. Good narrative. I really liked it. I 100% recommend it. If you've played this or like one of their other games and you liked it, I would just buy that bundle because that's the best deal, I think.
I think that's a great deal.
Did you guys want to do reviews? I don't even know what they would be. Not
really.
Can I at least read this one?
Okay.
Yeah.
You've gotten a good one.
The legend is true that this 100 megabyte of masterpiece can squeeze strange liquid out of your eyes. Excuse me while I go play with my cats to grow back my manly beard.
So everyone like you and Tonsa both found it sad. Lauren, did you find it sad?
A little bit. I thought it was sad. I felt for what happened, but I didn't think it was as sad as I thought it was going to be. If that makes sense.
True.
It's so sad. They like fucking just bow.
We're gonna talk once we finish this episode. We're gonna talk about it because I want to know. Because like there is sad
Yeah.
elements, but like at no point did I feel like I was gonna like get watery eyes and cry out my soul or anything.
Okay, I'm a little bitch, all right?
But yeah, I think that
Yeah.
pretty much sums it up for this episode. I mean, we will be back with Cat Quest soon. In the review section, it'd probably be hard to review, like, to read a bunch of them because they would probably spoil
The only
shit.
negative one is boring, and then everybody's talking about how like brings you to tears. But it does have 66,000 reviews, which is crazy.
I wonder how much this game made.
I don't know. I feel like it was free for a long time. Like just that era of games.
Great. I had a lot of fun today talking about To the Moon on NLGC, but before we go, we wanted to share where you can find us online.
First, we have a YouTube channel called Nerdlag where we'll be uploading some great content. So make sure to subscribe for the latest videos. We have a Facebook page at Nerdlag Game Club. Make sure to like the page so you can get the latest news about the podcast. You can also find us over on Twitter at Nerdlag, where we share some of the latest gaming news and stuff we find interesting. And lastly, we have a Discord at Nerdlag, where you can talk to us in voice chat and join in some discussion about everything nerdy, like video games, anime, movies, and chat with like-minded people. If you would like to join, ask for an invite. We also want to thank everyone that tuned in for this episode. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you share it with your friends. And also follow us on Spotify. It really helps.
On to the final credits. At the end of each episode, we kind of just talk about what's been going on for us, what games we've been playing, or just any news we wanted to talk about. And we just wind down at the end of the episode doing that. So is there anything you guys want to talk about?
No raft.
Yeah,
no
no
raft.
I feel like it's been such a short time, so nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Started playing Cat Quest.
There you go. I gotta buy it. I'm gonna buy it on the PlayStation Store since I think that's the only place I've seen it cheap.
I have it on Steam, but if Lauren finishes it sooner than later, I might just play it on the Switch.
Yeah, I think I'm almost done with it.
Nice.
I've just been playing Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, since I didn't finish it before. Now I'm just going through it again. It's kind of mindless, but I do enjoy it. It's like pretty fun. I could throw
All
it on.
those Warriors games are like that, though.
They're just about taking
Yeah,
out as
for the
many
most part.
people as you can, like, find.
Yeah, I have this like tendency where I need to clear out all the enemies in a level, unless like I have like a time limit or something. And those time limit like missions drive me crazy because I'm like, I just want to kill everything.
Every time I play those games, I
In-game.
just want to play Samurai 4. I think it's 4, where you get to create your own person and insert them into like the story.
Yeah.
And then I always I did it one time, and then I haven't touched it since.
The first game that I played kind of like that was Mystic Heroes, if you know what that is.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
It was on the GameCube. I think it's made by the same company. But you would go through like different stories, and then as you got so far, you could unlock new characters, and then you could use them. But I remember it being extremely difficult, and I'm curious if it would be hard now,
I don't know.
or if I was just little kid me struggling with it.
Yeah, little dumb Corey.
Yeah, I was never done.
Well, sometimes is it like I never know if it's like I was dumb about something or I just could not be bothered to like pay more than like two seconds of attention.
I feel like part of me was just the fact that like I didn't understand how to like block or dodge. I don't know. I'll eventually have to play it because it's on the GameCube, so
Yeah.
we'll find out. Lauren has been watching all of the Sailor Moons.
Oh my god, I watched like 50 episodes in 3 days.
Going through it.
I watched most of those episodes with you.
Yeah, you did.
I remember it being a really good show, though.
Yeah, it's It's definitely interesting. I could say I think Usagi's pretty stupid, like Sailor Moon, but it's pretty stereotypical for the anime like main character. So it is what it is.
Also, like older, so it would have been like that time frame too.
Oh yeah, it's like the 90s. I'm watching that one. I'm not watching. I
Well,
think
you
it's
said
set
you're
up.
just watching the one with you have a current dub on it though. It's been like redubbed, right?
Yeah, I guess from what I read, it's been redubbed like later on. But they also remade the show with more like updated,
Well, I can't remember if that's
animation.
I can't remember if that's Crystal. Like there's like in the last like 5 or 6 years they've like redid stuff, and then for their big anniversary they just did something too.
Yeah, they redid it as Crystal, and I like the 90s like original
Like
animation better.
vaporwave style. Yeah.
I like it too. I also like that Sailor Moon is like monster of the week.
Yeah.
Like
Every week or every episode is a new like bad guy.
Yeah, I missed when TV was like that. I'm fine with like your season finales being like 3-parters or 2-parters. But it's like, man, like I miss when just shows were that. Like where you could just not have to have a continuing story every time.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
the first two seasons of Supernatural I really liked because
Yeah.
they were monster of the week, and then after that I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I really like it. It's easy to just like tune in and out while watching it. But yeah, that's the animes me and Lauren have been watching together. And Shiboy Tonsa should be about done with Atomic Heart, maybe. I don't know. Playing it for 50
I
years.
believe I looked it up. What are you talking about, man?
It feels like it's way longer than what you said it was originally.
I got like maybe a stream or two, depending on like if the game crashes 100 times.
Yeah,
Or
that Dead Island.
I keep having like the worst bug, like between like streaming it, where my computer's not liking streaming and playing, but then like the ground not loading, or just glitching out on things, or getting stuck, and like it's that. Or one point my game just crashed.
I love Dead Island Robot Wars. It's my favorite game.
Yeah, I mean, I like the gameplay of it. It feels good. I suck. I think that's what I'm coming to the conclusion of getting older is I'm not very good at video games anymore.
You never were.
I think I'm pretty good.
Gazanga!
Hi, see you guys for the next fuck.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Dan, did you have anything?
Dan hit
Nope, I
platinum,
don't do
and
anything.
we've been playing. Well, they've been playing Overwatch. He's now the highest ranked, right?
Oh
Or
yeah, Mr.
Adam?
Platinum Boy
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Platinum is so
motherfuckers don't
good.
hit me up to play at all. They just
They play without you because you trash.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck you, Tonsa. You
I know.
suck.
This is how I find out no one wants to play with me anymore. Is Adam's just streaming at like midnight, and I'm like, oh man, no one even messaged me or anything.
I asked.
Well, it was
Tonsa, if it
late.
makes
I know
feel
you go
better.
to sleep at like 8.
What do you mean we're up to like 4:30?
I always ask though, Tonsa, I'll walk out and be like, "Oh, you playing with the boys?" And then it's just him and Adam in Discord. And I'm like, "Oh, no, Tonsa," and he's like, "Nope." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, no one. It's like the other day where they were playing. Like the one day I was like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" Like no one hit me up. I was streaming, and they're like, "You were streaming?" I was like, "I was streaming for like 3 hours." Like no one messaged me. You guys even pop in the stream or nothing.
All right.
They're like, "Oh."
We angrified Tonsa at the end here.
I know.
But thanks for hanging out with us at the end of this episode. I hope you had fun. I hope we encouraged you to go play To the Moon. And you will see us here in a few weeks with Cat Quest 2. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.